Good afternoon, Facebook. So I'm back. Told you. Been on a live video hiatus, but I'm trying to get back in the swing of things. I want to bring you guys some really helpful tips to help you get on track with your weight loss goals. And today I wanted to jump on real quick and talk about macros. Everybody is talking about macro management, tracking their macros. And I get so many questions from people asking, what are macros? How do you track them, and how are they going to impact your weight loss? So if you're catching this on the replay, thanks for watching. My name's Amanda Nybert. I'm a registered dietitian specializing in bariatric and weight loss nutrition. And my goal is to enthusiastically empower people who want to get back on track with their health and wellness through weight loss. So macro management is a huge part of the programs that I run through my online groups. And macros refers to simply the breakdown of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. So we have calories and then we have macros. So when we're looking at our daily intake, it's really good to look beyond our caloric intake, because a lot of times it's not just about the total calories, which is going to impact your weight loss. It's really going to be more impacted by the balance in which your macros in which you're eating. So when we talk about carbohydrates are used for fuel in the body. The brain loves carbohydrates. They're found in almost all of our food groups. When we talk about protein is used a lot for building and repairing muscles and organs and tissues in the body. So it's vital for us to consume on a daily basis. And then when we talk about fats are used as reserved energy. They're used as energy in the brain, and you can find them in most of the foods that you consume as well. Now, the biggest difference between, when we talk about the macros, is the difference between the caloric intake of carbohydrates and protein versus the caloric intake of fats. And that's one of the reasons why fats can kind of sometimes get a bad rap, because for every 1 gram of fat, you get 9 calories. But for every 1 gram of carbohydrate or protein, you get 4 calories. So when we eat a diet that's more abundant in carbohydrates and proteins, we're able to manage our caloric intake a lot better, because they're inherently lower in calories. When we eat a diet that's very high in fat, caloric control can be a lot more challenging, because fats are so high in calories. So it's really interesting to really look at that. And I find I work with a lot of different types of clients. And I'll give you some examples. And one of the things that we do on a daily basis is we track our macros. So we track all of our calories, proteins, and fats that we eat on a daily basis. And that's something that I get to look at the end of the day and give feedback. Are you on track? Are you doing well? So the common feedback I get from clients with regards to the tracking is just the awareness that it brings. So I work with a lot of women who say, I eat healthy. I eat a healthy diet. I make healthy foods. I stay away from fast food. I stay away from junk food, but I still can't lose weight. Well, when they start tracking all of the healthy food they're eating, they start to begin to realize, wow, I didn't realize that fruit had so much carbs and sugars in it. I didn't realize that at the end of the day, all this healthy eating, gave me 300 carbohydrates. Or I didn't realize that I wasn't getting enough protein on a daily basis. So even though you're eating healthy, it could be impacting your bottom line if your goal is weight loss. So tracking your macros can be a really powerful tool to help you kind of get back on track. The other thing that I'll see with clients is just that kind of awareness in terms of the foods that we're eating. I didn't realize that bananas, had so much sugar in them, or I didn't realize that, chicken was such a good protein source. So just tracking your macros can be really beneficial. So what do we try to aim for when we look at, macro management? The general guidelines are usually you're going to want to consume anywhere from about 30 to 50% of your macros from carbohydrates. You want to do anywhere from about 15 to 25% of macros from your protein, and then the rest will be made up with fat. So depending on what your nutritional goals are, for example, if you're doing some low carb days, so in the programs that I run, we carb cycle. So we do low carb days with high carb days. So on our low carb days, we tend to eat more protein and fats, but that's okay because it all balances out because we're eating less carbohydrates. And then on our regular carb days, we tend to eat more carbohydrates and protein. We tend to eat less fat. So it's all about creating that kind of balance. So I encourage you to start tracking your macros. Figure out how many grams of protein that you're getting. Low protein intake will definitely impact weight loss. How many carbohydrates are you getting? Carbohydrates are a big issue, probably the number one issue that Americans face. We just eat way too many carbs. I always say carbohydrate goals, you should be right around about 150 to 200 carbs a day, but the average American eats 400 to 500 carbs a day. Don't believe me? Track. Write down everything you ate today. I bet I wouldn't be surprised if you were pretty close to that. It's not hard to do. So think about tracking, figuring out what your baseline is, finding ways to reduce your intake, and then you'll start to see better results. Nutritional awareness is key. So hopefully you found this information helpful. If you did, I encourage you to use the share button below and share it with all your friends and family. I do have sessions coming up October the 9th. I'd love to help you. I'd love to work with you. If you're not sure if there's a program that will work for you, get on my website. Sign up for a 20-minute consult. I'd love to talk to you and figure out what your needs are and how I can help you. So you guys have a fabulous, I love all the thumbs up. I love all the hearts. You guys have a fabulous Tuesday, and think about those macros when you're at dinner tonight. Talk to you soon.